Alright, hey everyone, this is Mike at Briar Farm. Well, actually I'm at Bean Legacy Farm, is that the name of your farm?
Homestead Legacy.
Yeah, so I'm here with Carl Bean. He's the one we've been talking about doing our bull swap with. So we got Gandolfini here and we got Leo. We're just going to kind of talk about Dexters a little bit and talk about what we're looking for in bull calves and cows and all that good stuff. I wish we had an old barn like this.
Well,
or a new barn. We were just kind of comparing Gandolfini here and Leo, and they are about a month apart, we figure. Gandolfini was the end of May, and middle of April.
Yeah.
And Gandolfini's in a new spot and just took a 2-hour car ride, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
When we were coming, they never know we swapped.
Yeah. Yeah, even the neck colors, I thought when I was looking at the pictures, the necks were even pretty close to the same, that dark red.
I found it way easier breaking him than our Hereford calves.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to tie some of ours up to the tractor to break them.
Yeah.
We started early with him too, though.
We did.
When was his birthday?
May 20th.
Yeah. So, as far as being the right in line, I think Leo's got maybe a month on him.
Yeah.
Give him some pointers, Leo. He's got to deal with this after you're gone. You're pretty collected. I mean, he's not rattle-headed, and he'll stand tight. But
I think that he's just a little worked up from being on the.
Well, he's in a new place.
Yeah.
He'll get the same way. I don't know, when you get home, Leo, he might go, "Put me back on that trailer."
Right.
As far as bulls go, I think these two bull calves, in my opinion, are pretty equal as far as everything that I would look for in a bull. I mean, I feel like we're getting I think we're both going to benefit from this. Although I am getting to keep some of the same breeding that I have.
What goes into your decision making when you're deciding to steer or keep one in?
So, my thoughts are, first of all, to make sure we keep quality and breeding for the Dexters. I feel like there's a certain amount of the people that are very interested in the A2A2 homozygous for their program. So I do consider that. I look at the dame, the mother's qualities as much as I do the bulls, the sire. I look at the mother, the udder, the temperament, the build, the mothering, the calving. The calf growth rate is important to me. And then as these bulls get a few months old, I start looking at how are they growing on grass? Are they good, flat, square? Are their feet, are they, looking at them walking away, are they straight? There's just a lot of different things, that I look for. Luckily for me, a lot of that was, I bought a lot of that. Somebody had already done a lot of that for me. I didn't have to start over, And you basically are doing the same thing. But as far as the bull goes, it's basically how they look, how they handle, how they grow, what the mother's, characteristics were, and compare them to the bull that I'm using for breeding. I mean, I want to make sure I get those characteristics. So there's a lot of good bulls out there that are A1, A2 hetero. So you can't take all that away from them.
Right.
You got to really go on how they got to look good and they got to act right, and still you want to breed good udders into them. I think that's a big thing, especially in the Dexters. I've seen some of the udders getting, bigger's not always better. And
definitely value to keep them intact longer to assess them. We had picked up 3 steers last spring, and one of them either the band broke off or it wasn't steered. When did we finally steer him at? Probably 7, 8, 9 months.
9 months.
And he's just a squirt.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, still now, like, we were kind of looking at him in one of the last videos. And he's going to be a small, on the way smaller size when we do butcher him.
If you're looking for quality animals, you really got to give them an opportunity first. You know, you got to give them a chance to grow and things like that. We did steer some out here. I was talking about that older cow. I'm after a certain heifer or bull calf out of her, no matter what, I'll keep it and let it grow.
Yeah, there's a lot of people can pick an animal apart, criticize what other people are doing, and like we were talking a little bit ago about homozygous polled and A2A2 and red. I like red. I like polled, and I can control that polled genetic with my homozygous polled, and I don't have to worry about what really my cows are. But yeah, we're kind of breeding to what people want.
Yeah, we are. But you know, if I
and like at the same time trying to stay within the standard and maintaining udders and stuff like that. Or
it's kind of what everybody's program is. But if you're gonna hit across the level, the majority of the people they want that. The homozygous A2A2, which I get it, and we can produce those, but don't forget about all the rest of the attributes that they can give you. You know, the best looking steers I've got are, and I tested them all. Everybody's got tested for everything, and the best looking steers that I have out there in the lot were heterozygous, A1, A2, and they would have been just great. But you can't hardly sell them.
Yeah, they're hard to sell.
So it's really what a person like me. I love Hans. I love his build. I love his. I like the black ones, the black Dexters. But that's just me. But it's very interesting. I do see where somebody's monkeying around now with some putting the, what is that color?
Brindle?
Brindle. Have you seen some of that?
Oh, the brindled red or whatever?
Yeah, now they're trying to breed brindle colors in these Dexters. There we go.
Yeah.
Now what's next? You know, you got to find a brindle bull or.
I think that comes from the wild red genotype, but I'm not into the color thing. I like the red just because I like the red.
Yeah. Yep. No, it's it doesn't. As far as I can tell, I do think that maybe some of these the brown ones or the, what's the color? Duns. Sorry, the Duns. I do think that their coat seems to be rougher in the fall and spring. I don't know if you guys have seen that or not, but they seem to, their coat just doesn't seem to be as slick as the red ones and the black ones for some reason.
Or Jolene, his dam, she looks real good right now, but I think it takes, I don't know if it takes longer, but to shed that winter coat.
Yeah, same thing I've noticed.
Because I saw somebody, I can't remember who, he would take his duns to shows and he was shaving them in the spring.
Yes.
And maybe that's what you saw too.
Yeah. No, I think the Duns do have a rougher coat seasonally, but it doesn't make no difference. I think a good feeding program is essential. I mean, quality hay, the best hay that you can either grow or buy is, you got to give that to them to get potential out of them.
And we're in dairy country where we're at, so
everything's good over there.
A lot of it high alfalfa.
Yeah.
If you want to pay for it, but we found some good first cutting quality stuff that's on the cheaper side. But we've gone through lots of different guys to buy hay to find some we've put out there and they would not touch it. I mean, they would not eat it.
Yeah, I've seen some of that. We did have to buy some hay last year because I didn't take enough ground back to put hay up, and so we bought some hay and we went to Greenville and hauled it home and And I put some hay out there to my cattle, and they're like, no, they'll stand out there and bellow.
Yeah.
So I go, I'm like, well, we're going to start getting some of the stuff to last. I'll put a bale out there, and then I'll try to sneak some of that in there. Wasn't going to happen. So I ended up giving some of that away and just getting rid of it, using it for bedding or whatever. And they was not going to eat it. And but I sold some to other people. Hey, we'll take some more of that. Okay. But I wasn't going to force them to eat it. They didn't want to eat it.
Yeah.
I put a round bale, second cutting, high alfalfa. There was about half a bale. This was just yesterday. Half a bale left in the round bale feeder. And they're just bawing at me like they're starving. Like, you got this nice high quality hay, and they wanted the grassier first cutting.
Yeah, I did try to feed a couple years alfalfa baleage, and believe it or not, they just didn't like it. You and I would smell it and go, geez, you almost want to bite into it. They didn't really like it, so I just went and got some just grassy hay. And they did great with it.
Last year we fed a lot of baleage, and they picked through it, and it was the guy that I bought it from said it was kind of stemmy. The guy cut it too late, so a lot of that went to waste. But I mean, they did seem to they picked through a lot of it. But the first year when we first started, we were buying those 3 by 3 by 7 foot squares of this baleage, and that was some high quality stuff, and they loved that stuff.
Yeah, a little grass in it makes it better, right? I thought, and some of that stuff, I would go over there and I'd say, hey, if you got anything with any more grass in it, they would pick away at that. But as far as feeding them what I would use to feed they just didn't really care for it.
It kind of makes sense though, right? Like in hindsight, these are cattle that are meant to do well on little.
Yeah.
So, and they should be preferring different foods than cattle that we demand a lot of and require grain to function.
They definitely do the best on the grass. One other thing I was going to mention. So lamb's quarter is our biggest battle around here for broadleaf, right? So I went in here late in summer, and you can still see where there's still some lamb's quarter sticking up there because I don't use it. They're all out back. And like, oh my gosh, poor animals are going to have to go out there. Well, they loved it. They was actually just stuck through the fence. They was trying to pull that lamb's quarter through. I'm like, there we go. The easiest thing to grow is lamb's quarter.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, well, that'll grow in our field like carpet.
Yeah. So, but you turned the cattle loose in the sweet corn patch.
Yeah.
And it looks like do they knock down a lot or do they eat a lot of it?
They
both.
Both.
Yeah.
But yeah, they are still picking through it. But I thought I was kind of you worry about bloat. They didn't have any problem.
I've never had any experience with any bloat on these cattle either.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you let them out on a lush pasture or something, they just seem to, again back to Pete out there in New York. He just watching what he's doing to them guys. He just let them do their thing, and they got legumes, they got grasses, they got everything out there. And he just lets them teach him as they want, Therefore, he puts up all that grass hay. And in the winter months, when it gets cold, I think that they need to be substituted if somebody don't have good enough forage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we like to put a protein tub with them.
Yep.
So what you're talking about is something called nutritional wisdom, and there's kind of been a long-standing debate among farmers and scientists about whether or not domesticated livestock have retained nutritional wisdom. So like wild sheep, I think that browse on sagebrush.
Yeah.
That plant contains some toxins, and they can digest it efficiently and use it as a food source, but only if they eat like 2 other plants at the same time.
Yeah.
So if you give them the opportunity, they will be able to eat a lot of things that you wouldn't expect them to and do it without problems.
Yeah.
We just have to give them the choice.
Yep. So good example is a veterinarian one time, an older veterinarian, you know, one of our stock dogs over at the dairy farm, you know, he gets sick. And so he says, well, I'll tell you what you do. Drive down the road and find some roadkill. And give that dog roadkill, fresh, whatever. And he says, let that dog heal itself. And so I can't remember what we did feed it, but we give it an opportunity, and by golly, it did it. It figured out on its own how to get itself through it. You know, they have that naturalism, and I think that cattle are probably similar. Some of these weeds that are growing out here, they don't like them. They ain't gonna eat them. They'll go play and run through them. They won't even nibble on them. But those trees that are back there in the lane they use for shade, I think they're box elder or something. Well, they got a nice browse line in there. They allowed them. Mm-hmm. So they know what they can eat. I'm pretty sure. You know, I don't think that these Dexter cattle have been commercialized and taken all the wisdom on them. I think they're pretty self-sufficient.
Did that weed have a purple flower that's still standing here, or right out here?
No, no.
Was it like big green leaves?
They're big green leaves, but there was a white flower.
White flower,
and then it has this big seed pod.
It's kind of spiky.
Yep, it's kind of spiky.
That's called the gypsum weed.
Gypsum. They're so invasive.
Or moonflower, I think. But yeah, it's toxic, and they won't touch them.
Yeah,
the pigs don't touch them either.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you got the same similar thing over there?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
It probably came in some hay or something. Yeah. I don't know at one point in time, but they're not going to eat it. But if there's lamb's quarter out there, so if I could teach them to go out in the cornfield and eat just the lamb's quarter, we could get rid of the herbicide, right? Right. They could just walk down the row and, you know.
Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah.
People have done it with goats, where you can train them to like target specific areas. So you have to like offer it with like sweet feed or something that they know is like a really good treat.
Yeah.
So that they'll learn that it's a food. Because this person who's done it with goats, she said that her goats are like toddlers. Like they won't. You know, every time you offer a human child, a new food, they act like, no way, that's gross. I'm not going to eat it, because they don't see it as a food item.
Right. Yeah.
But it can be taught.
A shot collar on a goat. You can eat that, but if you touch my corn, you're going to get shot.
Yeah. I don't want to advertise for anybody, but a couple weeks ago I did go buy me a head shoe lock. And so I did a lot of research, and I ended up getting one of them Herd Pros. And for anybody that has the Dexters, in my opinion, for the price, they're a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
And that's how the other day I had some cows that were missing ear tags. I'm like, I'm going to catch this up. And so I sorted out cows and ran them in the barn. It was perfect. So just something to be thinking about. The time of year, the ultimate time of year to freshen for me in my program is like April, May. And so the cow utilizes all the grass. They get the most milk. And then the calf starts eating forage earlier, and I think I've seen a lot better growth than like that calf that was just up here. She's going to struggle a little bit because she's going to get enough milk, but she's not going to be able to go and eat on grass for a few months.
Yeah, we're still waiting. We got two to calve here.
Yeah, I do too. You always got a couple that get by you.
Well, we were hoping for October, and that was our chondro that we bred, put in with the bull last January.
What do you think the calf's going to come out? What's the odds? Do you know?
50-50 is chondro or non.
Yeah. No, there's a special place in everybody's hearts for the chondros, you know, and it's fun to go see them. There again, it's like, who wants what animal?
Yeah, right, exactly.
How do you hit on all the markets, you know?
We have the two heifers, and they're just kind of cool.
Oh yeah,
you know?
Yeah. What's their temperament? Is it different or is it the same?
Our June is pretty tame and calm. I can almost walk up to her and pet her.
Yeah.
Ladybug, the one that we have waiting to calve. I mean, they're all tame, but
Yeah.
she won't let me touch her.
Yeah.
But that's gonna change when we're gonna try.
Yeah, no, some of them are naturally gonna be laid back. This bull, I think, is naturally laid back, and I also can see it in him. He's got that eye. He's gonna be a pretty boy.
Yeah.
Yep, I like him.
Yeah, like I said, if I could have kept him, I would have.
Yeah. Well, you'll know where he's at.
Yeah, I got no use for him though.
Well, he's too nice of an animal to steer.
Yeah.
In my opinion, he looks really good.
Well, thanks, Carl, for agreeing to do the bull swap, and we'll keep in touch with each other for sure.
Yeah. Yep. See how this goes.
Keep you all posted on how Gandolfini turns out, and of course you'll see Leo here on the channel. So.
Yep. Yeah, we'll keep you posted, and thanks for the opportunity to get a little different breeding stock and to see where the breeding program goes. But as far as I can tell, with my thoughts, I think you got a good quality bull there, and same goes here. You know, he's got everything genetically to do well. It'll be interesting how he grows. Yeah. And if this one doesn't work,
exactly. Everybody, if you're interested in checking out when Carl has animals available for sale, you can check out Haven Creek Farm. They are partners with Carl at Bede and Legacy Homestead, and they post animals when they have them available on that website. So that link will be in the description below. And thanks for watching. We will see you on the next one.